to start now. Hi. I think we can wait for 5 more minutes, and I can see people still coming in, so just 5 more minutes, please. Okay, we can start now, I guess. This is right then. Hi, my name is Amit. I work in Linaro Mobile Group. I've been working for the last 3 years, working mostly on platform side. So in this talk, I will cover the 64-bit builds, I'll mostly talk about the AOSP builds which are currently being supported. It includes 32-bit builds, 64-bit builds, and multi-lib builds. So I'll briefly talk about the build configurations, what are currently supported, what are currently broken. Majority of my talk will be on multi-lib builds, how to do that, what changes do we need to do, and other things. And lastly, I'll go through a couple of examples from AOSP where you can see how exactly it is being used in AOSP code base. So I might not be touching all the build configurations, what variables do we need. I'll mostly be touching only the multi-lib configurations or the configurations which we need for 64-bit builds or 32-bit builds that we will see in next of slides. So my first topic is AOSP build configuration. The AOSP now supports 32-bit builds, 32-bit only builds, 64-bit only builds, and multi-lib builds. Multi-lib builds are, you have two arcs. One is a primary architecture, and the second one is a secondary architecture. What currently is supported is 64-bit primary and 32-bit secondary, but theoretically, maybe we can have 32-bit primary and 64-bit secondary. So starting with 32-bit builds, it is similar to having a 32-bit build for a 32-bit arc. But we can have it on 64-bit arcs as well. It supports only 32-bit applications. And when we run it on a 64-bit arc, it is similar to what we had running in Linaro for last more than a year now, which we call it JUICE. Second is 64-bit only builds. These are the builds which are only 64 bits. They're specifically targeted for 64-bit architectures. It supports 64-bit applications only. So I'm not talking about multi-lib builds here. It is a 64-bit only build. You can run only 64-bit applications. It will not support 32-bit applications. Last time when I tried, I can build it, but I cannot boot it. It failed somewhere in the media server where it is trying to launch a service which is right now only 32-bit supported. So yeah, last I tried it on 5.02, it doesn't boot up for me. Next, we have our multi-lib build. So multi-lib build is the main topic of my talk here. It's a build configuration where you support both 64-bit applications as well as 32-bit applications. As I said earlier, there are two configurations which you can use here. You can make your 64-bit architecture as your primary architecture and 32-bit as your secondary architecture. And second one is 32-bit primary and 64-bit secondary. Yes, so when you do a 32-bit multi-lib build, 64-bit is by default your primary architecture for modules, which you must have specified in your product package, which is your package configuration variable. When you run 64-bit primary and 32-bit secondary, system server, which takes responsibility of all your services, not all of your services, but majority of your services, it will run in 64-bit mode. In 32-bit primary and 64-bit secondary, it is, as I said, similar to what we have 64-bit primary and 32-bit secondary. It's just that the role is reversed here. It doesn't build. It used to build some time back when I tried early 2014 or mid 2014, but it doesn't build anymore. So apparently it is not supported, but theoretically, just for the sake of putting it there, I think it can be. I mean, it is not supported, but if someone wants to try it, he can do it. I'm not sure why someone want to do that. Yes, I want to touch more on this 32-bit only builds. So why do we need 32-bit on 64-bit builds? Apparently, there has been concerns that 1 GB RAM is not sufficient or is not good enough to run a multi-blib ARC on a lower-end 64-bit device. So they are exploring whether we can run only 32-bit builds on a 64-bit ARC, just for the sake of limited resources. So that's the only reason I think anyone will run 32-bit only ARC on a 64-bit ARC. Yes, so when I talk about multi-lib builds and these builds supporting multiple, all set of applications, 64-bit or 32-bit build, then the first thing which comes into picture is how do we do that? So AOSP in Android 5.0 supports 2 Zygote servers. These are kind of Android virtual machines. So it runs 2 Zygote processors, primary and secondary. Primary corresponds to your primary architecture and secondary for your secondary architecture. I'll be mostly touching 64-bit as primary and 32-bit as secondary. So 64-bit will be your primary Zygote and 32-bit will be your secondary Zygote. Traditionally, before, till 4.4, we have seen that Zygote configuration is part of your standard init.rc, and you will just start a service called Zygote, and it will take care of initializing your Zygote. Now we have a separate init file for Zygote, init.rozygote.rc. ro.zygote is your build time property which you set in your device configuration files. This is how you do it in those last green lines, that my ro.zygote is this, and then you copy the configuration files, init.zygote 64_32.rc. So if you see that file, you will see that it will run 2 services, Zygote and Zygote secondary. Zygote, as I said, is your 64-bit primary, and Zygote secondary is 32-bit secondary. And I'm talking about 64 primary and 32-bit secondary builds here. From now onwards, multi-libs, if I'm talking about multi-libs, it's going to be 64-32, 64-bit primary and 32-bit secondary. So next is, how do you actually do a multi-lib build? First is platform configuration. Second is configuring your modules. Platform configuration are the global variables which you can set and which will persist across your complete build. Where I have classified them into 2 or 3 things. Target architectures, how do you specify target arcs, application support, how do you set custom tool chains, etc. While building multi-lib modules, how do you do that? How you can override the global variables which you have set in multiple configuration in the platform configuration files? How do you handle the installation paths, and how do you handle the pre-built modules? So this is how a standard platform configuration looks like for a multi-lib build. If you are familiar with Android device configurations, prior to Android Lollipop, you only used to specify target arc and target arc variants, CPU variant, CPU ABI, and other things. Now, it is pretty much the same thing. It's just that target arc corresponds to your primary architecture. So you see, I specified target arc as ARM64 and all the relevant bits as ARMv8 and ABI as ARM64v8A. Secondary architecture is where you specify your 32-bit architecture. So you use target second arc or target second, all the same all the variables which you use to specify for primary architecture. So this is an example of ARM64 6432 configuration. You have specified the target architectures. Once this is set, the Android build system will take care of choosing the correct tool chains for you, and it will initialize all your build environment. So you don't have to do it unless you want to set it explicitly. So I'll cover those things in next slides. Yes, so application support. So there are two variables which we use. Target supports 32-bit apps and target supports 64-bit apps. So this is what you can, if you don't set these variables, it's perfectly okay because your build system will take care of it. But if you want to try something new and if you are not doing a regular build, then this is what you need to set or uncheck. So as I've mentioned that if both are set, it will use 64-bit unless this target preferred 32-bit is set. I'm not touching this variable target preferred 32-bit. It will come into picture in my next slides. Just to give you a brief overview, if you specify target preferred 32-bit global variable, that means whenever it will try to build all your packages as 32-bit packages. It could be an executable, it could be a library shared or static. So right now we are not touching this. Just for the sake of information, I have put it here. So you can set these variables. If only one is set, then it is. I think the names are self-explanatory here, what they do. If neither is set, it will fall back to building only 32-bit apps. So this is one thing worth mentioning here. Second thing which we use quite often in Linaro, or anyone who uses Linaro toolchain, is that you have to set the custom toolchain or the toolchain which you want to use. For example, if you want to use the Linaro toolchain, you set these variables, target GCC version expression and target toolchain root. How they differ is that if you use the first variable, it will just assume that you are using the same toolchain version. If you set it to 4.8 or 4.9, it will assume that you are using that particular toolchain 4.8 version or 4.9 version for both 64-bit and 32-bit. If you set the second option, these are target toolchain root and second target toolchain root, what they will do is they can build your rootfs with different set of toolchains. For example, you can use 4.9 for your 64-bit builds and 4.8 for 32-bit builds. So this is what, I'm not sure what is the case now, but this is what is the case a couple of months back when we were using 4.9 for 64-bit and 4.8 for 32 bits. So this is how you set the custom tool chains. Yes, so this is the end of platform configuration. Do we have any questions so far? These are the global variables which we set, and they will persist across the complete build. No, there will be a system, there will be only one set of images. One build image, one system image, one data image. Sorry, I did not get the second question.
Yeah. So where we can set the rules for primary versus secondary applications? I mean, these are the applications it should build as a part of secondary build.
Okay, so the platform configuration mainly talks about the variables which are globally, these are set of global rules that if you set these variables, this is what is going to be across the build. If for a package, you don't want to build for a primary architecture, you want to build for secondary architecture. This is your question was. So there are certain local variables which you can use. Okay, so those are part of the next section of my talk. So this is the global configuration which you set. And next one is how you can override these variables if you want to. The only thing which you cannot change is target arc and target second arc. Right, because all your supported you know, supported bits have already been built using those configurations. So local builds cannot override those things. Okay. So building a multi-lib module. So this is where everyone in this room, I assume, is familiar with Android.mk files. These are the Android make files which Android package uses to build executables, shared libraries, and static ones, and other things. Even the APKs, if you want to. So we use something called product_packages. It's a list of packages which we want to build as a part of Android package. This is a global variable. Even if you don't add anything in this, Android build system adds certain packages in this list itself. So this is not something which you need to set explicitly. So, but if you want to, you can just add product_packages plus equal to, and that particular package will be added in your configuration. So how this works is, if you are building a particular package, it will check the dependency, what all packages you need to build, what all dependent packages you need to build, so that this package can work as intended. So yeah, so when you specify, I'm talking about a specific module here. If you specify that I want to build a library, then it will pull in the dependent library, whatever is there based on your package which you have specified in product_packages. And for a multi-lib package, it will build the multi-lib part, the secondary part, only if there is a dependent package for that. If there is no, then if there is no dependency, then it will not do that. So for libraries pulled in by dependency, 32-bit library is only installed if it is required by a 32-bit library executable. So this is similar to what we have right now. So a dependent library, be it a 32-bit or 64-bit, will only be built if it is needed. Otherwise, it will not be. Same thing goes for executables. If you sorry. By default, the executables will be built for 64-bit version, but you can build for 32-bit as well. The catch here is that I was going to cover it in the next of my slides. So the catch here is that the installation path for the binaries is same, unless you want to specify something else. So all the binaries will go to system bin as they used to in earlier versions. So if you are building an executable 64-bit and then you want to build it for 32-bit as well, then at the end only that 32-bit executable will install in your rootfs, because it will override the 64-bit one. Now how to prevent that, I will cover in my next of the slides. So yes, so as I said that by default libraries and how libraries and executables will be pulled in by these build variables. The only catch here is that you cannot specify the module from the command line. You cannot specify that, okay, make libc and expect it to build the libc for both your primary architecture and secondary architecture. If you want to do that, you have to specify the module name, which is for your 64-bit, and to build it for 32, you need to specify module name _32. So we rarely use that, but if someone wants to, then this is the way to do it. So the module definition, how do you specify? So these are the variables, local multilib, which will tell you how to do these multilib builds. I mean, whether you want to build that particular module for a single architecture, for multiple architecture, or you want to build it only for a particular architecture. So if you set it to first, it will build for 64-bit. If you, these are self-explanatory here, so I don't see any reason why. Yeah. So the only thing is that if this is not set, if local multilib is not set, then it will default to both. in a multilib if package. Yeah, and the last line, sorry. Yes, so this local multilib is the variable which will override your target preferred 32-bit build, which I checked in the platform, which is a global variable, which we said that, okay, I prefer to build only 32-bit apps, but this variable can be override by using local multilib variable. Now there are these local flags which we use. If you, anyone familiar here with build system, we specify local C flags, local C includes, and other variables. So those still work, but only for the primary architecture. If you want to use it for secondary architecture, you specify local, that particular variable which you have, and then underscore your target name. For example, I build a particular package which supports all the architectures, but has different source file for different architectures. For example, this local C flags ARM64 and local C flags underscore ARMS. So these flags will be enabled only for that particular architecture when I'm going to build. So this is how you specify. So this is just C flags and source file. You can use all the local flags which we have been using for Android. You can use all those flags. Just have to specify you just have to add a suffix to add a suffix your architecture name. You can achieve the same functionality with underscore 32 and underscore 64. It is pretty much same as it makes it more generic. When you specify underscore 64, it could be x86 64, it could be ARM64, it could be anything. And if you want to make it only specific to ARM64, just specify ARM64 or x86 64. Now, this does pretty much the same thing, local module target arc and local module unsupported target architecture. For a particular package, you can specify, you can specify that this particular package can only be built for ARM64, ARM, and let's say x86 64. And if you are trying to build that package for MIPS, it will just skip that package. So it is not something which is 32-bit or 64-bit specific. It is ARC specific. It is either ARM, Intel, or MIPS specific. You can, there are certain variables which you can use to spit out a warning that, okay, I'm not building this package because this is not supported. So you can use unsupported target arc1. And if you have used target preferred 32-bit, then as I said that it will try to build the 32-bit first. But if it doesn't, then, yes. If you use target preferred 32-bit build, it will try to build 32-bit build, but it will not build for 64-bit build, unless you specify that arc in local module target arc, that it is supported, so you have to build it. Next thing is the installation path. As I said, that all the system binaries, all the executables will go to system bin, and all the libraries will go to system lib. It will go to system lib if you are using a 32-bit libraries, and system lib 64 for 64-bit libraries. So for libraries, it is pretty straightforward. If you build a multi-lib library, the 64-bit library will go to system lib 64, and 32-bit library will go to system lib. So the problem is the executables, because since we have only a single installation path, system bin, so what you have to do is you have to rename your binaries. You cannot have a same binary with the same executable with the same name in system bin. So the variables which you use are local module stem and local module path. Local module stem comes handy when you want to rename your files. That, okay, I'm building this XYZ binary, copy it as XYZ in system bin and XYZ64 for a 64-bit version. Second way to do is to change the installation path altogether. Instead of copying it to system bin, you just copy it to some other path. So in that case, you have to use this local module path underscore 32 or path underscore 64 to distinguish the installation path. So, yeah. Then there is something called relative path. We have been using it to copy the hardware abstraction layers. So it used to be system lib, hardware, and your abstraction layers. So this is where you use it. When you specify that, okay, my local module relative path is this, let's say it's HW, then for multi-lib, it will be for 64-bit, it will be system lib 64 hardware, and for 32-bit, it will be system lib hardware. Now, handling pre-built modules, nothing has changed in this case. So you just need to take care of the variables which you are using, which you have been using and which you want to use for multi-lib. If you just take care of all these things, there are no new changes here which go. For example, in this case, this is a small example which I wrote. I'm building a module called libsample. It's a multi-lib module because I'm building it for both. It has a ARM64 source file and an ARM source file. So that means for 64-bit compilation, it will take ARM64 source file. For a regular ARM, for 32-bit build, it will take underscore ARM source file. Here, the source file is a pre-built module. Now, when I specify local module class, it's a shared library. It will do the magic which it used to do, and you just copy your modules to respective directories. Now, if you want to use executables, as I told you earlier, your local module class is going to be executables, but you need to add these local module stem variables. You need to specify these variables. Otherwise, the 32-bit binary is the one which is actually going to be installed because it will override the 64-bit binary for you. Sorry. Yeah, so as I said that you have to specify local module stem and path for executables. So now coming to the end of this talk, here are a couple of examples which I took from AOSP. One is a platform configuration example. Second is multi-lib configuration example. I hope this is visible. Yes. So this I took for Nexus 9. The first section is where you specify the target and primary and secondary architecture. In the second section, you see a variable called target uses 64-bit binder. I did not touch it because if you are doing a multi-lib build, this is what goes by default, what goes in by default. This comes handy if you are trying to use a 32-bit only build on a 64-bit ARC. Because if you don't specify this, then it will not boot. It will not take the 64-bit binder. So it is worth mentioning here that you have to use this variable for a 32-bit only build. And at the end, you can see that, okay, so as I mentioned earlier that these support applications, right? Target support 32-bit applications, target support 64-bit applications. These are being set by default by the build system. So you don't have to take care of that unless you want to do something new. For example, in this case, where we are building only a 64-bit, this is a commented part. I mean, it's not a commented part, but it is not what is actually being built for Nexus 9. So you see that it is only building 64-bit app support. So this is only a 64-bit configuration. They might be doing it for internal testing purpose or what, but this is how you can use these variables to override the default global variables. Now, building a multi-lib modules, it's same what it used to be. You specify a set of source files, which are common for all the ARCs for all the builds if you want to do. Then local SRC, ARM, ARM64, all the target specific files. As I said, target is 64-bit, is something which you don't need to set if you are building a 64-bit type 6432 multi-lib builds. And at the end, the purpose of this example is that at the end you can see that they have mentioned local module stem 32 and local module stem 64. So this is how you rename your applications, your executables. So this is a debugger daemon. and it builds and get copied as debugger D and debugger D64. So that if you are doing a 32-bit, if you want to run a 32-bit debugger daemon, you run this debugger D, and for 64-bit, you run debugger D64. Yeah. So references are, there is a ASP changelog is what I followed mostly for these variables. There was a thread on Android 64 mailing list where you can find most of these informations. I took it mostly from there. So, any questions do we have so far? No, then I guess we are done here.